Hello, my name is T. Lynn Pirtle, student at Middle Tennessee State University. Recently, the last few months, I participated as an intern with CIM, which is known as the Community Intervention of Memphis. I participated in the Human Resource Internship, which provided me with a comprehensive hands-on and learning experience, and for that, I am truly appreciative. I learned and lived their mission, which was to assist citizens of Memphis and the surrounding area with resources and intervention programs. As an intern, it provided a meaningful backdrop for my personal and professional development as an emerging HR professional. Tell you a little bit about myself. After working in law enforcement, public safety with the city of Memphis for over 32 years, I ended that chapter and began another one. I went back to school to learn human resource because after serving the public, I wanted to serve the employees with whether a nonprofit agency or with the city itself. And I'm going to tell you a little about my story, but overall, I enjoyed this internship. Come along with me as I walk through my 10 weeks internship with Community Intervention of Memphis. These 10 weeks involved as my mindset focus changed because I was in the real world of human resource. Each week, I was entrusted with responsibility, starting with orientation, facility tours, online training session. I remember it clearly. It was network in action. I enjoyed the training concept, teaching business professionals how to grow and build powerful connections through networking. Great training. It taught and I learned recruitment activities, observing interviews, record management, interactive staff meetings. Now, later in the process, as I went through my 10 weeks of the intern with Community Intervention of Memphis, I learned data transformation, onboarding, and I assist with temporary workers coordinating assignment to schools where we hired high school students to participate the week of Halloween and went to 5 elementary schools within the proximity of the business itself on Poplar Avenue in Memphis, Tennessee. Now, I even made a site visit and assisted during that particular event. We went out on the scene and assisted with community outreach events, distributing candy and goodie bags to elementary school students, local children in the area. That was outstanding. I never participated from a human resource perspective, but I did when I was with law enforcement. But once again, like I say, this was a new beginning for me as I engage with the staff members and interact with the public in a different arena, the human resource arena. And I really enjoyed it. Like I say, it was CIM is a nonprofit and it's dedicated to community empowerment. And that event was one of the events that they normally hold to interact with the community. And I was exposed to human resource by working with the management, and I enjoyed that overall. Because each week, it was always something different through this 10-week program as an intern. The understanding of key human resource management concept was my goal. And I think I made it. I reached those levels. I learned staffing development, confidentiality when we looked at those different applications with individuals' personal information on it. We were always, it was always emphasized to me you have to stay in compliance. The organization, the culture, and I enjoyed the leadership it was under. I witnessed how human resource principles translated into action through employee engagement, teamwork, and ethical decision making. Because there was a lot of decision made during that particular time in this 10 weeks course. I saw how they interpreted the information, put it out, explained it, and it got out successfully to the employees. I gained insight in how HR supports the success of nonprofit organization. I really, really enjoyed this internship. And after this, my class itself, I did apply or speak with the management for any future openings. I even would like to apply. Let me say that much. Thank you, and I continue to tell my story. As I continue to tell my story, I like to say, I repeat again, I gain insight into how non-profit organization HR supports the success through structure, cultural, and people-focused leadership. Human resource, HR. Learn a lot. I was able to participate in interviews and onboarding with the hiring of 10 high school students. I actually sat in the room, observed, and interact. Didn't have many questions, but I had a few that I asked. But I was trying to learn exactly what was required. After the interviews, I assisted with checking backgrounds, supported documentation, and compliance tasks in the finalization of hiring decision for the temporary part-time positions. Throughout the process, I engaged with the community intervention of Memphis staff, the CEO, the HR supervisor, and operation manager as I gave my input. I was part of the team, and it still amazed me because this internship, I participated, and I felt like I was part of the team. And I normally interacted and attended the interns on Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, December the 3rd, and I'm dressed like I'm at the intern today. I even have on my badge, as it say, intern. I was really excited. I was part of the team and observed organization culture and strategize planning. As an intern, that built my confidence and knowledge and made me a believer that I can actually do this, that I can take a part in human resource, because this was a real life setting. This was real life. I felt like I was a member of something great. I'm still thrilled and excited about it. And I'm just excited for getting the opportunity to tell my story in this particular process. Thank you. Now, this slide, key human resource learning, some of the things I just indicate in this particular slide, like, for instance, the wage hour laws and compensation practice. I gained insight, especially from Mrs. Shield, Miss Paris Shields, director of operation there at the CM Community Interaction of Memphis, that she always emphasized that this is a nonprofit organization, and the setting is totally different in this compared to a private sector organization who may have larger budget for salaries and things of that nature. She always told me that nonprofit organizations, they focus on creating value through benefits, work-life balance, and meaningful work. Working out in the community, making strides and networking, communicating with other agencies, and being seen. Therefore, now, a private organization, they have larger budgets, more money, and they can do more things and pay people more on their salary. The management staff, they was good from what I saw with employee engagement and retention strategies. They always emphasized that they had a fiduciary duty to stay up on federal wage laws. FLSA, familiar with that because I came from the city. So in the nonprofit industry, they still required to be on top and stay up to par with FLSA, the Fair Labor Standard Act, and the Equal Pay Act, EPA. I believe that's has remembered, to not violate the gender-based wage discrimination against any employee. Miss Paris Shields, remember her name clearly because she always used her name. So she was the protector of the organization. She said she stayed informed by employee, engagement, and try to keep the employees that they had, but they depend on a lot of volunteers also interacting out in the community because, with a limited budget they had, they couldn't do as much as they really wanted to. But I understood that clearly. Having a strategy plan that include uplifting the employees' morale and a small increase in pay as a aligning employee goal. I always want to give the employees something and make them feel like they're part of it. It's what I took away also from the internship. But overall vision of the organization was the employee tend to feel a great sense of purpose and belonging. Because just for that short 10 weeks period, I felt like I was part of something. I felt like I belonged. I really enjoyed this internship. Like I said, the key learning and benefit showed to me as someone new in the field. Volunteer recruitment is something is big. It's dependent on heavily. I noticed. To support community events, once again, outreach programs and youth initiatives, they need volunteers to interact, to support the tremendous work that they had to conduct in the community. They combined all the data, which when they applied for grants, you have to show what you're doing in the community to make sure it's working in order to apply to get grants. And the proposal, which is depended on by non-profit organization and reported to ensure accurate documentation and data integrity. So she, like I said, Michelle was responsible for keeping up with that and getting that in, and make sure that their grant writers will indicate, their documentation once they submitted everything in. But that's just short of information that I learned in this internship, and that's what I took away. Key learning. Thanks. All right, I'm back as I continue to tell my story. Just want to name a few people my professional interaction with while I was on the intern. And I was only seeing them maybe out of the 10 weeks that I interned, and I'm sure I was up at the office at least for two of the weeks out of the 10 on more than one occasion, especially one the week of Halloween when that whole 5 days cycle that they went to different schools for the baggy candy giveaway for the week of Halloween. But I just want to go through this real quick. Don't want to spend a lot of time. Krista Yarbrough, Miss Yarbrough, she's the CEO of the Community Intervention of Memphis. She has strong strategic leadership skills I picked up. I remember her for her strategic leadership skills. I mean, younger, great. She influenced me to intern at the center. She allowed me to intern at the center and learn HR principle, and I witnessed firsthand how HR leaders balance compliance, transparency, communication, and strategies. Now, Paris Shields, you heard me speak to her in the last slide, about her in the last slide. Her Shields with the last name. She used the Shields. She protect the organization. She's direct operation and data strategy. I remember her for sharing her plans, her knowledge with me. She has strategic planning skills that shows the connection between HR and the long-term organizational objective. Now, Tina Anderson, Ms. Anderson, I was her shadow, but she was off the first few weeks of the internship, so due to some type of health problem, but that she was going through. But when she came back, she to me she appears to be healthy. She was the HR supervisor. She believed in compliance and payroll. She knew knowing the balances between the compliance and fiscal responsibility was her job. She complies with laws, even though their funding often comes from grants and donations. She was required to keep up with that and get the documentation in to Ms. Shields so they can get it to the grant writer when they seek other kinds of funding for the organization. Candace Smith, she was one of the human resource staff, and she worked in recruitment and onboarding. She played a major role in other things as well. We successfully hired 10 high school students for the temporary work that we did the week of Halloween. It's one of the events that they participated in. And Martha, I always call her Martha. That was her name. I think Martha Lopez. I'm not familiar with her last name, but I only saw her, a few times, once a week. She was the receptionist, customer service, and she greeted the people. She set the stone. She set the tone for the culture there at the organization. But each played a vital role in coordinating an undetermined amount of time with me one day a week. Mainly was on a Wednesday. Did that for a week, for 10 weeks. And I say these are outstanding ladies, and I really enjoy working in this intern. All right, this slide is academic connections. These classes that I took in this program is connected. I've seen it connect them in this 10-week intern. Contributed to my knowledge of the human resource on a practical level. It has reaffirmed my long-term aspirations in organizational leadership and human resource development. I feel more knowledgeable leaving out of the door as I did when I walked in the door to do the intern. As a class I successfully completed relating to the internship class, organizational transformation, it related to change leadership. Class ethics and value indicates professional conduct and fairness. Class research methods as align it to data-driven HR practices. The class that I had with women and minority works out well since I was exposed to women leadership with this organization. And it's led by a lot of strong women. I can vouch for that. So I lived that. The class corporate governance, it demonstrated the legal and compliance insight to handle the data responsibly and emphasize the importance of fairness consistent with confidentiality. Now, the class in HR management has different cores, human resources, roles that reinforce daily. HR supports organizational stability, employees' engagement, morale, building, and retention. The internship experience illustrated to me that HR is not just administrative, it is strategic, ethical, collaborative, and mission driven, having a different way to achieve a positive outcome is always acceptable. Once again, these courses leading up to this intern has definitely assisted me in shining light on where I am today. And for that, I am grateful. Slide 8, future career goals. My future career goals is filling in the pieces of the puzzle, is why I use this demonstration of a puzzle. My goal is to become an HR director who oversee employees' relations as well as develop a long-term strategy and culture transformation. This internship experience helped me see how HR leaders act as strategy partners, bridging the gap between management vision and employees' engagement. I was so honored to be a part of this nonprofit organization, planning committed to give input. It was both humbling and inspiring, reinforcing my desire to work in an environment that strengthened community-focused HR program. I enjoyed this internship. All right, conclusion of my story. Once again, I'm T. Lynn Pirtle, student here at Middle Tennessee State University. I had an intern with Community Intervention of Memphis. I have learned a lot in this 10 weeks internship with the Community Intervention of Memphis. Through observing leaders, strategic planning, data transformation, and community networking. This internship strengthened HR leadership knowledge. It has applied academic concept to real HR practices. I have gained real-world experience and developed skills in communication and strategic thinking, working with the staff at CIM, Community Intervention of Memphis. It allowed me to witness the HR principles translate into practices through teamwork. As they said, teamwork make the dream work. I am grateful for the opportunity to contribute to the CIM, Community Intervention of Memphis mission and to grow as a future leader in human resource. I have reconfirmed my commitment to HR as a career path. These last few slides that you will see are photos from the event that I participated the week of October when I went out on the scene to one of the schools. And also, you will see me coming into the building, the last photos, you will see me coming into the building, interacting as I come into the office, speaking to Martha, which was my daily routine. She set the tone for my day because she kept it so real coming to work. I felt like I was coming to a job, which was only one day a week for the intern. I'm no longer in the intern, but I'm missing them already. And hopefully my blessing will be restored and I'll hopefully be working with them one day. But I enjoyed this internship. Those pictures that I added into it are some of the things that I benefit from. Thank you for listening to my story. And once again, I am T. Lynn Pirtle, graduate student at Middle Tennessee State University. Internship, 10 weeks with Community Intervention of Memphis in Memphis, Tennessee. Thank you for listening.